From Iron Man 1 to Endgame, the MCU was a perfect, well-oiled story machine where every movie, even its box office bombs, served a massive purpose in the end. Phase 4 doesn't look like that. Instead of a set of movies and shows that perfectly fit together like a puzzle, Phase 4 just looks like a jumbled mess that resembles the Marvel movies of days long ago. Worst of all, it removes the satisfying endings for some of our favorite on-screen heroes. Much like how Jennifer Grey dug up the corpse of Patrick Swayze to win Dance with the Stars, the creative team at the MCU decided to reanimate the original Avengers, throw on a fresh coat of paint, and hope that we didn't notice. Do you remember Hawkeye, the regular guy with the bow and arrow who stood up to Loki, an alien army, a robot army, and another alien army? Well, if you like him, you're gonna love his daughter, who is just a regular person with a bow and arrow. Do you remember the Hulk? That guy that was in a constant battle with his emotions and afraid to have a normal life? Well, if you love him, then you're gonna love She-Hulk. Do you remember Thor? The literal god who became an emotionally broken man looking for redemption? If you love him, then you're gonna love seeing Natalie Portman taking that hammer for a spin. Do you remember Black Widow? That cold-hearted spy who eventually let down her guard to make friends and care about something more than the next mission? Well, if you love her, then you're gonna love her pretend sister who looks like the main reason of why they're making a Black Widow movie in the first place. Do you remember Iron Man? That rich billionaire jerk who became the cornerstone of the team and made the ultimate sacrifice to save humanity? Well, here comes Ironheart. And lastly, remember Captain America? That scrawny asthmatic who at the end became worthy of becoming a god? That guy who retired after saving the world and finally let himself be happy for the first time? Yeah? Well, now Falcon is Captain America. Like I said before, the Black Widow movie is there to introduce a new assassin to hold the mantle. It's a movie that should have been made years ago because it takes place shortly after the events of Civil War. Shang-Chi looks like a really great action movie, but it just looks like a solo movie and that's it. He was never a household name among Marvel fans. We never really saw him as any secret character to unlock in a video game, and I don't remember any comics where he was dealing with an Avengers level threat. He was just a masterful fighter who had his own problems to deal with, and that was it. Not saying that they shouldn't make this movie. The trailer might be one of the best the MCU has ever produced, and I'm pumped to see it, but I'm not going to spend $30 on Disney Plus to watch it. I just hope I'm wrong and they make him an actual member of the Avengers and his story has a lot more weight than what they're letting on. Spider-Man and Doctor Strange 2 are vastly important because they hopefully will break open reality and find a way to introduce the X-Men into the Marvel Universe. The new Thor movie will mostly kill off the iconic Thunder God. He said it himself after Endgame, I am without purpose for the first time in my life. Hopefully teaming up with the Guardians of the Galaxy will be a fun ride, but ultimately, Thor's time is come and gone. Black Panther 2 is kind of a toss-up because we don't know if they're going to recast him or just make his sister the new Black Panther. I really hope this movie will introduce Namor, which was teased slightly in Iron Man 2. Personally, I'd rather see Regé-Jean Page, who was in Netflix Bridgerton, take over as Black Panther for the future. But I have a feeling it's probably going to go to his sister. Captain Marvel 2 first needs to fix all the problems that the first movie created. And by that I mean having an incredibly strong, overpowered character that can solve every single problem by herself. We saw Captain Marvel fly through spaceships and stand up to Thanos one-on-one. Hopefully they find a way to reduce her powers. I do love seeing Monica Rambeau returning, which further makes Disney Plus shows a must-see. Quantumania is supposed to introduce Kang the Conqueror, the next bad guy for the Avengers to face him and his disposable CGI army. The main issue I have with this movie is that it's not called Avengers 5 or something like that. It's called Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantumania. The previous Ant-Man and the Wasp movie was terrible, and the only redeeming quality of it was the after-credits scene. This doesn't seem like a fit-in final movie of the newest chapter of the MCU heroes. There is a massive amount of TV shows coming out to Disney Plus, but I'm looking at the list wondering why. WandaVision was a massive hit which perfectly sets up Doctor Strange 2. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier seems to set up a lot more than just a rebranding of Captain America. John Walker will be a major character going forward and who knows where his adventures will take us. Zemo's fate is unclear since he's still on the raft though, but it's predicted that he's probably going to end up linking up with other villains. Also, Sharon Carter looks like she's going to be a major player in the upcoming projects. Loki looks like a lot of fun, but like I said before, why are we trying to bring the dead back to life? Marvel has thousands of heroes and villains at their disposal, so why keep Loki alive when you gave him a very great satisfying ending to his character? I mean, the guy was hell-bent on becoming the ruler of Earth at one point, and then transitioned to a guy fighting a losing battle against Thanos. And this isn't even the same Loki. This isn't the Loki we got to see in Thor 2, Thor Ragnarok, and Infinity War. This is a guy that just lost the war to the Avengers. Last we saw of this Loki, he was on his way to Asgard to await trial. Moon Knight looks interesting because he's basically a Batman type of hero, and everyone loves Batman. Miss Marvel is a gamble. She wasn't really a popular character to most fans, and she's basically a downgrade of Mr. Fantastic. Also, she was probably one of the key reasons the Avengers game failed so badly, because they just kept shoehorning a character that no one likes into arguably the first Avengers game that fans wanted to see. Ironheart is just a rebranding of Iron Man, which I hate. In Spider-Man Far From Home, we saw Peter design his own suit and pretty much look like Tony Stark while doing it. Happy Hogan said a very important line: "You're not Iron Man, you're never going to be Iron Man." Which was good because it closed the book on an amazing character to move on to the future. But clearly Disney had other ideas in mind. Cue the random, smart, independent, and strong teenager and let's doll her up in an Iron Man suit because that's what the fans want. Armor Wars piqued my interest because from what I read online, which may not be true, it has Justin Hammer fighting against War Machine. I do like tech stories, and seeing War Machine get his chance to go full throttle will be a really fun ride. Then there's a She-Hulk show. Why? I don't know, it just seems like a really weird concept that we're not having a Hulk solo movie, but we're having a She-Hulk show. And where is the Hulk during any of this timeline? None of these movies scream Hulk. The show I Am Groot feels like a cash grab on Groot merchandise. And so does the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. The What If series is kind of a gamble. The biggest difference between the MCU and the DC universe is that DC focuses on timelines and alternate realities. The Marvel universe is one progressive story. Even the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show went along with the Marvel movies and unveiling that one of their own is a spy for Hydra. When you have an endless amount of CW shows showing different Flashes from different universes and alternate Superman and whatnot, the universe loses all continuity. If it's not a canon storyline that doesn't greatly enhance the depth of these characters, then it's mostly a waste of time. But it's more like a, hey, wouldn't this be cool? And that's it. Secret Wars is the only show that feels like an Avengers-esque product. They have shown the Skrulls in many things like Captain Marvel, Spider-Man Far From Home, and WandaVision. All in all, I think the MCU is going to take a massive step back from this. The characters that ushered in a new generation of Marvel fans are either dead, retired, or about to get the boot. There doesn't seem to be a plan anymore in the MCU. Remember when Tony and Steve had their battle of words in the Avengers 1? And Tony said, "Everything special about you came out of a bottle," and then Steve became a god? Remember when Steve said, "Big man in a suit of armor, take that away and what are you?" And Tony sacrificed himself to save the universe? That's building towards the future. Those lines right there set up iconic scenes in Endgame. But thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Simtastic Joe, and let me know what you guys think about this.